It's part of the core curriculum. You have to go and intern somewhere in order to graduate from their program. And they really find that it works. So I think that there's precedent for that. And companies that, or universities that have the resources to take on people, I think that's a really great thing to do.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. Yes.
Hi, David Nolan with Ariba. Before I get to the point that I stood up to make, I want to respond to what he said about, how do we encourage that level of mentoring. And a couple years ago, I got promoted to the highest level of technical position in my IT department. And one of the things my director said to me at that time was, people at that level, a large part of their job in his mind is to raise the level of the rest of the team.
Yes.
Now, I'm primarily a network engineer, but I get assigned off into the SA groups and into working with the support team, and my goal is always to try to get everyone else's skill level a little bit higher. So I run internal trainings, but also just kind of poke people, rather than give them an answer, maybe poke them in the right direction.
Yeah.
So what I stood up to say is Carolyn's comment about when you hire an engineer straight out of school, you expect them to know nothing. I said I'm primarily a network engineer right now. I equate that to a CCNA, right? A CCNA is the lowest level of certification you can get from Cisco. In my mind, it equates to I can plug in cables. It's a little bit more than that, but if that's the only thing I really expect,
or at least you don't plug them in a loop, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or that that plugging them in a loop is bad.
Okay.
But at the same time, that's the lowest level of certification out of Cisco, right? They have,
it's all tiered crazy,
of things these days. And if you look at a conference like Cisco Live, which was in San Diego this year, it was 17,000 people, all of who were taking training.
Yep.
Right? Because there was hundreds of classes available. There's always more to be learning.
Right, and they're scaling that out, right? Like it's,
right.
Yeah.
And I think the problem I see in our community is that training focuses often too much on the lowest level. Right? Mm-hmm. There were people at Cisco Live who've been doing Cisco for 20 years, taking training in the latest technology, the next way to do stuff. However, don't get me wrong, the flip side of that is I think Cisco's training sucks. Because Cisco's training focuses on, here are the bits and what they do.
Sure.
Right. Here's a configuration setting and what it does.
Right.
Not why do you care about what this configuration setting does? How does this